My girlfriend said, "I need you to be psychic about my needs. Stop making me explain everything." During a fight, I replied, "You're right, I should know." Then I packed her bags without saying a word and left them at her mom's house. When she called asking, "What does this mean?" I said nothing. Original post. I, 32 male, have been with my girlfriend for 3 years. We moved in together about 18 months ago, and for a while, things were good. Not perfect, but good. She's smart, funny when she wants to be, and we had chemistry. But somewhere along the line, I became responsible for managing her emotions while also being expected to read her mind. Let me explain what I mean. If I asked her what she wanted for dinner, I was making her do all the emotional labor. If I picked something without asking, I didn't consider her preferences. If I noticed she seemed upset and asked what was wrong, I was interrogating her. If I didn't notice or didn't ask, I was emotionally unavailable. You see the pattern here? I tried. God, I really tried. I read articles about love languages. I started keeping mental notes about what made her happy. I learned to recognize certain looks, certain silences. I thought I was getting better at this whole relationship thing. But here's the thing about moving goalposts. You can never actually score. Last Tuesday started normal enough. I came home from work around 6. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling her phone, clearly in a mood. I could tell because she didn't look up when I walked in. Me, "Hey, everything okay?" Her, silence. Me, "Bad day at work?" Her, "I don't want to talk about it." Me, "Okay, that's fine. I'm going to start dinner. You want that pasta you liked last time?" Her, "Whatever." So I made the pasta, set the table, even lit the little candle she bought because she said it made things feel more intentional. I called her to dinner. She came over, sat down, looked at the plate, and sighed. Her, "I can't believe you made pasta." Me, You said whatever. And you loved this last week." Her, "Yeah, last week. I've been feeling bloated all day. You should have known I wouldn't want something heavy." I took a breath. "Okay, I can make you something else. What would you prefer?" And that's when she lost it. Her, This is exactly the problem. I shouldn't have to tell you. After 3 years, you should know. I need you to be psychic about my needs. Stop making me explain everything." She was actually yelling. Over pasta. Over me asking what she wanted to eat. Something in me just clicked off. Not in an angry way. More like a circuit breaker tripping. I felt weirdly calm. Me, "You're right. I should know." She blinked, clearly not expecting that response. "Well, finally." I nodded and went back to eating my dinner. She stared at me for a second, then got up and went to the bedroom, slamming the door. Classic. I finished eating, washed the dishes. Then I went to the hall closet and pulled out her 2 big suitcases, the nice ones her parents bought her for a trip we never took. I spent the next 3 hours methodically packing her things. Clothes, toiletries, the books from her nightstand, her laptop, the fancy coffee maker she insisted on buying but made me clean. I was thorough but not malicious. I didn't damage anything. I folded everything neatly. Around 11 p.m., while she was still sulking in the bedroom with the door locked, I loaded the suitcases into my car. I drove to her mom's house, about 20 minutes away. Left them on the porch. Didn't ring the bell. Drove home. Went to sleep on the couch. My phone started blowing up around 7 a.m. She'd finally come out of the bedroom and noticed her stuff was gone. 15 missed calls. 23 texts ranging from "what the hell" to "where are my things" to "this isn't funny." Then the call from her mom. What is the meaning of this? Her suitcases are on my porch. And then the text from her that made this whole thing worth it. What does this mean? I didn't respond to any of it. See, she wanted me to be psychic, right? She wanted me to just know things without her having to explain. Well, now she gets to figure out what my actions mean without me explaining anything. Funny how that works. It's been 4 days now. I've said nothing. My phone has been on silent. I've been staying with my brother temporarily while I figure out the lease situation. My name's the only one on it, BTW. That's going to be relevant. I know some of you might think this is petty or immature. Maybe it is. But I spent 3 years trying to decode this woman's every mood, walking on eggshells, apologizing for things I didn't do, and being told I was never enough. And the moment she demanded I be a mind reader, I decided to give her exactly that experience. She wanted silence? She's got it. We'll update if anything interesting happens. Update 1, 6 days later. Okay, so things have escalated in ways I genuinely didn't anticipate. First off, thanks everyone for the responses on my original post. A lot of you asked if I was doing okay, and honestly, yeah. Weirdly, yeah. The silence has been the most peaceful thing I've experienced in years. No more guessing games. No more, you should have known. Just quiet. But apparently my peace was causing absolute chaos on the other side. Day 2 of silence. Her mom showed up at the apartment. I saw her car pull up from the window and just didn't answer the door. She knocked for about 10 minutes, called my phone 6 times, then eventually left. I watched her drive away looking furious. Day 3, her younger sister tried a different approach. She texted me this long message about how family is everything and how I was destroying her sister's mental health by not communicating. I read it, didn't respond. Day 4 is when things got interesting. My ex, yeah, I'm calling her that now, apparently went through her full villain origin story. She started telling people, mutual friends, her co-workers, anyone who'd listen, that I had abandoned her without warning, that I was emotionally abusive, and that she was afraid for her safety. That last part got my attention. My buddy from college texted me, "Dude, your girl is telling everyone you hit her. What's going on?" I never touched her. Not once. Not ever. That accusation lit a fire under me. Up until that point, I was content to just let things fade out. But falsely accusing someone of abuse? That's not just a breakup move. That's trying to destroy someone's life. I call my brother, who happens to work in insurance, but knows a lot of people. He connected me with a family friend who's a lawyer. I explained the situation, the relationship, the breakup, the silence, and now the accusations. His advice was gold. Document everything. Don't engage directly with her. Any communication should be in writing and through a third party if possible. If she's making false accusations, you need evidence of your character and her pattern of behavior. So I started gathering receipts. Literally, I had texts going back 2 years. Screenshots of her berating me for not anticipating her needs. Voice memos I'd saved. She had a habit of yelling at me over the phone, and I'd started recording them for my own sanity. A text from 8 months ago where she wrote, and I quote, "Sometimes I say things I don't mean when I'm mad. You know, I'd never actually think you're abusive, LOL. LOL indeed." Day 5, she finally tried a new tactic. She showed up at my brother's place. How she figured out I was there, I don't know. Probably social media detective work or mutual friends. My brother answered the door. I was in the back room, but could hear everything. I need to talk to him. This is insane. He can't just ghost me after 3 years. Brother, he doesn't want to talk to you. I think that's pretty clear. But I don't understand what I did. Brother, maybe you should think about it. I have been thinking about it. None of this makes sense. We had one fight about dinner. My brother, absolute legend. Did you? Because he mentioned something about you wanting him to be psychic. Dead silence. I didn't mean it literally. He knows that. Brother, does he though? You told him not to make you explain things. He's not explaining things. Seems like you got what you wanted. She left after that. I could hear her crying in her car for about 15 minutes before she drove off. Look, I'm not a monster. Part of me felt bad. But then I remembered the abuse accusations and the feeling passed. Day 6, today her mom sent me a text that I actually have to share because it's unhinged. "You are a coward and a manipulator. My daughter gave you the best years of her life, and this is how you repay her? Refusing to even speak to her? Real men communicate. Real men don't run away. You've destroyed her, and I hope you're happy with yourself. She hasn't eaten in days. She can't sleep. She's had to call out of work. All because you're too proud to pick up the phone and act like an adult. Her father and I always knew you weren't good enough for her, but we gave you a chance. We were wrong. You're nothing but a child playing games. Don't bother responding. I don't want to hear your excuses." I didn't respond, obviously. But here's the thing that gets me. The best years of her life. She's 29. She spent 3 of those years with me, years where I apparently could never do anything right. If those were her best years, that's genuinely sad for her. Meanwhile, my lawyer friend suggested I send one official communication to establish a clear boundary. Something unemotional, factual, and documentable. I'm drafting it now. It's going to be beautiful in its simplicity. This relationship is over. Please do not contact me further. Any continued attempts at contact will be documented. Any false statements about me, including accusations of abuse, will be addressed legally. That's it. No explanation. No emotion. Just facts. She wanted me to stop explaining everything. Your wish is my command. More updates coming because I have a feeling this isn't over. Update 2, 12 days after original post. You guys. Okay, so after I sent that one official message through email, documented, timestamp, the works, I thought maybe things would calm down. She'd realize I was serious. Her family would back off, and we could all move on with our lives. I was so naive. Within 24 hours of receiving my email, she responded with a novel. And I mean that literally. It was over 3,000 words. I didn't read the whole thing, but I skimmed enough to get the gist. I was the love of her life. She didn't mean the psychic comment that way. Her mom was just protective and didn't mean those things. She's been doing a lot of self-reflection. She's willing to work on her communication, if I just give her another chance. Also, the abuse accusations were taken out of context, and she never actually said she was afraid of me. That last part was a straight-up lie. My college buddy sent me screenshots of messages she'd sent to the group chat. She absolutely said she was scared of me. She implied I was physical. Those messages exist, and I have copies now. I didn't respond to her email. 3 days later, she showed up at my job. I work at a mid-sized company. Nothing fancy, but decent pay, good benefits. I'm in project management. My ex apparently decided the best way to win me back was to show up in the parking lot during my lunch break with a handmade sign that said, "I'm sorry. Please talk to me." Like what? My coworker saw her first and came to warn me. "Hey man, there's a woman outside with a sign. She's asking people if they know you." I went to HR immediately. Explained the situation briefly. Ex-girlfriend, bad breakup, she's been showing up places. They were actually really cool about it. Security escorted her off the property and told her she wasn't allowed back. But here's where it gets genuinely wild. That night, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Normally I wouldn't answer, but something told me to. It was her dad, her actual dad, who, according to her, always knew I wasn't good enough. Her dad, hey, it's her father. Don't hang up. Me, him. I know you're not talking to anyone right now, but I wanted to say something man to man. I waited. Him. She told me what she said. The psychic thing. She told me about the fights over the years. The expectations. All of it. Still waiting. Him. Look, I've been married 32 years. My wife, her mother, is the same way. It never gets better. These women, they expect you to anticipate every need. And when you can't, you're the bad guy. I've spent 3 decades apologizing for things I didn't do wrong. This was not what I expected. Him. I don't blame you for leaving. I wish I'd had the guts to do it when I was your age. But I need to tell you something. She's spinning out. The sign at your job was just the beginning. Her mom is encouraging her to fight for you. They're talking about getting a lawyer to force you to give her stuff back. Me. I already gave her stuff back. All of it. It was on the porch. Him, I know. I told them that. They don't care. They want a reason to drag you into something. Long pause. Him. I'm only calling because I think you deserve a heads up. You seem like a decent guy who got caught in something he didn't understand. Get your documentation in order. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry. For all of it. Then he hung up. I sat there for a long time after that call. Her dad, the man who supposedly hated me, basically admitted his whole marriage was a prison, warned me about his own wife and daughter, and apologized on their behalf. That was heavy. 2 days after that call, I got served. Not with a lawsuit, exactly, but with a demand letter from some bottom-of-the-barrel lawyer claiming I had wrongfully evicted my ex from our shared residence and was holding her property hostage. I called my lawyer friend immediately. He laughed, actually laughed out loud. "They have nothing," he said. "The lease is in your name. She wasn't on it. You didn't throw her out violently or change the locks while she was inside. You packed her things and delivered them to her family home. If anything, you went above and beyond. But he also said something important. This is harassment. They're trying to bait you into engaging. Don't. So I didn't. Instead, I had him send a response outlining the facts. Her name was never on the lease. All her property was returned in good condition, and any further baseless legal threats would be met with consideration of a counterclaim for harassment and defamation. The demand letter went away pretty quick after that. But she didn't. 3 days ago, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. It was her, using a friend's phone. I know you're reading these. I know you're ignoring me on purpose. You don't get to just throw away 3 years and pretend I don't exist. I deserve an explanation. I deserve closure. You owe me that much. If you don't talk to me by Friday, I'm going to make sure everyone knows what kind of person you really are. I screenshot it, sent it to my lawyer, then blocked that number too. Friday came and went. True to her word, she posted a long Instagram story about emotional abuse and men who use silence as a weapon. She didn't name me directly, but anyone who knew us knew who she was talking about. I could have been upset, but honestly, the people who matter know the truth. My family, my real friends, my coworkers who saw her standing in the parking lot with a sign. The people who would believe her dramatic Instagram story weren't people I needed in my life anyway. The silence continues. My lease is up in 2 months. I'm looking at apartments closer to my brother. Smaller, cheaper, just mine. There's a lightness I haven't felt in years. No more walking on eggshells. No more mental gymnastics, trying to anticipate someone's needs. No more apologies for crimes I didn't commit. She wanted me to know without being told. Well, I know now. I know exactly what I need, and it's not her. Final update, 23 days after original post. Okay, final update, because I think this chapter is actually closing. A lot has happened in the past week and a half, and I want to give you all the conclusion you've been waiting for. First, the legal stuff wrapped up faster than I expected. After my lawyer sent that response to her bogus demand letter, we heard nothing for about a week. Then her lawyer, I use that term loosely, sent a brief reply, basically saying his client wished to discontinue the matter and wanted no further contact. Yeah, funny how that works when you actually have documentation and they have nothing but entitlement. But here's the real ending, the part one honestly didn't expect. About 5 days ago, I got a voicemail from her dad again. His voice was different this time. Tired. Hey, just want to let you know what happened after our last talk. When I got home that night, my wife, her mother, heard about the call. She went through my phone, found out I'd warned you. There was a big blow-up, biggest one in years. She called me a traitor, said I was siding with the enemy. He paused, and I could hear him take a breath. I told her the truth, that I was tired, that I'd been tired for 30 years, that watching my daughter become exactly like her mother was the final straw. I told her I was done. Another long pause. I moved out 3 days ago, staying with my brother for now. Haven't talked to my daughter since. She's furious, thinks this is all your fault somehow. But it's not. It's mine. Should have done this decades ago. He cleared his throat. Anyway, I know we don't know each other well, but I wanted to thank you. Watching you walk away, just walk away, with no drama, no begging to come back, it showed me something I'd forgotten was possible. So thanks. Take care of yourself. Then he hung up. I must have listened to that voicemail 4 times. A man in his late 50s, finally walking away from a marriage he'd been unhappy in for decades, because watching me refuse to engage with his daughter showed him it was possible. I don't know how to feel about that. Proud? Sad? Weird? All of the above? As for my ex, I haven't heard from her directly since the Instagram thing. But mutual friends have given me some updates, whether I wanted them or not. She's living with her mom full-time now. Her dad, leaving, apparently blindsided both of them. They're blaming me for destroying their family, which is wild considering I haven't spoken a single word to any of them in almost 3 weeks. She quit her job. Not fired, just quit. Told people she needed time to heal. Her mom is apparently supporting her financially while she figures things out. The abuse accusations have quietly disappeared. Nobody mentions them anymore. I think people realize that a woman who shows up at someone's workplace with a handmade sign isn't exactly scared of them. My college buddy apologized for believing her initially. He said, "Man, the way she told it, it sounded so real." Then I saw the parking lot video someone posted, and it all clicked. Yeah, Someone recorded her little sign stunt and posted it to a local community Facebook group asking if anyone knew the crazy lady harassing employees. It got shared around quite a bit before getting taken down. Not my doing, but I can't say I'm mad about it. As for me, I signed a lease on a new apartment. It's smaller than the old place. 1 bedroom, decent kitchen, balcony big enough for a chair and a small table. It's quiet. It's mine. I've been sleeping better than I have in years. No more waking up wondering what mood she'll be in. No more planning my words carefully so I don't set off a landmine. No more trying to be psychic. A few people have asked if I feel guilty about the dad situation, about being the catalyst for their family falling apart. Honestly, no. That marriage was a ticking time bomb for 30 years. I just happened to be nearby when the timer hit 0. And my ex? She'll probably keep telling anyone who'll listen that I'm a monster, that I abandoned her without explanation, that I used silence as a weapon. But here's the thing she'll never understand. It wasn't a weapon. It was a boundary. She told me to stop making her explain things. So I stopped explaining things to her. She told me to be psychic about her needs. So I figured out what she really needed, which was to face the consequences of her own behavior. She asked what my actions meant, and by staying silent, I let her sit with that question. Really sit with it. No rescue. No hand-holding, no emotional labor to cushion the blow. I gave her exactly what she asked for. It's not my fault she didn't like the results. Someone in the comments of my first post called this weaponized compliance. I kind of love that term. It's not revenge. It's not cruelty. It's just giving someone exactly what they demanded and letting reality do the rest. My life is moving forward. I'm reconnecting with friends I neglected during those 3 years of walking on eggshells. I'm picking up hobbies I dropped. I'm actually excited to come home at the end of the day instead of dreading it. She wanted a mind reader. She got a lesson. I hope she learns from it. But honestly, that's not my problem anymore. Thanks for following along, everyone. This community helped me feel less crazy during one of the weirdest months of my life. I'm signing off now. Silence was always the answer. I just didn't know it until she demanded it.